Be covering chapter 5 section 1 of grade 6. Let's do the first question. So grade Fred drives 800 meters in 4 minutes. At what rate does Fred drive? Now what do we know about rate? Rate tells us that they want how much Fred is driving per minute. So it means you're going from a larger number to a smaller number. Instantly in your head it should go off said, okay, they're talking about division. That's where your mind should go at this level in grade 6. That's what you should think about, right? In this question when I'm talking about rate. So then what happens is that you take 800. Now there are two ways of solving this question. It's 800 meters in 4 minutes, right? In 4 minutes. Now, what do we want? We want in 1 minute, how many meters is Fred going to move? You can do it in cross multiplication way, but you need to know how to place what where. So 4 minutes, the minutes will be underneath each other, and 800 should be beside the minutes that it has. So it should be associated with it like this. Then you do cross multiplication, becomes 800 is equals to 4 box. Then you do 800 and then you divide it by 4. You put the 2 up, you put 8 at the bottom, 0 here, you bring the 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 0 here, 0, and then you bring down the 0 again, then 0 up and 0 at the bottom. So this is how you do it. This is the cross multiplication method. If you want to do it by direct, what do? Is that you take 800, right? We want to divide that into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So we'll put the 4 outside, we'll put the 800 inside, and we'll divide. So we're getting 2 up, 8 at the bottom, 0, and then again, just the same thing. You'll get 0, 0 here. So 200 meters per minute. So you can do it both ways. Next thing is that here you have how many meters will Fred drive in 9 minutes? Remember, you're dealing with 800 meters in 4 minutes. If your part A is correct, if you have done it correct and you're confident about it, you will go to the next part and you'll just do 200 times 9. Now, why is it 200 times 9 directly, 1800? Why? Because we know that every 2 meters that Fred moved, 1 minute was covered 200 meters. Then another one, 200, was covered in 1 minute. Right? So this kept happening for 9 minutes. You have to keep on adding till 9 minutes, till you reach 9 minutes. So 9 times 200. Okay, so you get, because remember, multiplication is what? You're repeating one number over and over again, and how many times that number is being repeated. You multiply them. Next, what you can do here, again, cross multiplication. And cross multiplication is more useful in here. It's like for more difficult numbers, right? Larger numbers. So 800 meters is covered in 4 minutes. And then the next one, how many meters? We don't know. Box is covered in 9 minutes. We'll do cross multiplication. 800 times 9 is 7200 is equals to 4 minutes. 4 times box. Okay, box is the one that we're looking for. So 7200 divided by 4. So, for example, if your multiplication is stronger, go with the first method. If your division is stronger, go with the second method. So you can go 4 here. You can subtract. 3 here, 2 here, 8, 32, 0. Now again you have 0, 0, you'll just put it down, you'll put a 0 up again, and then you'll subtract it, and then again you'll put down another 0 and you'll subtract it again. So it's 1800. Right, the second answer. Okay, now we're talking about ratios here. Whenever we talk about ratios, remember that ratios here that's given to you, it's in the simplest form. First, you need to understand which direction they want you to go into. So let's understand that. The ratio of x to y is 3 to 4, x plus y is 21, right? So example, now let's do that. They said x plus y is 21. Is x plus y 21? 3 plus 4 is equals to 7. Okay? Now you see that x plus y is 21. Keep that in mind, ratios, whenever they give it to you like this, they're in the simplest form. You cannot simplify it further. You can also check by yourself. Can you simplify 3, 4, and 7 in any other, can you simplify it further? By the same number, I mean. No, you cannot. Okay? So what do? It means that they multiplied every number by the same value to get what? To increase it, right? Now, what value did they multiply here to get 21? That is a hint that they've given you for you to reach the answer. 7 times 3 gives you 21. So you do that with every number. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. You add them. Do you get 21? Yes, you do. So it means that they increased every number. And what was the hint? 21 was the hint. So that was because we saw that 7 times 3 was 21. That's why we multiplied 3 times 3 and 4 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 and 4 times 3 is 12. There you go. That is your answer for this one. Let's go to the next one. I hope you've understood that. If you understood that, the rest of the quiz will be very easy. Sally and Kate and Anne spent 570 in the ratio of 3, 7, and 9. So this is the order. They said in this order. Keep that in mind. So Sally spent 3, Kate spent 7, and Anne spent 9. Now, in total, they have 570. Do they have, when you add them, 3 plus 7 plus 9? Do you get a 570? Try it. You get 19, don't you? Isn't that right? You get 19. So by keeping that in mind, what will you do with the 570? What you can do here instantly is that you can divide. What I would say is that you can divide, or you can start writing the multiplication. If multiplication is easier, you can start writing the multiplication of 19. Or what you can do to find out what they multiplied by 19 to get 570, or how did they get 570 from 19, either you can divide or you can multiply. If you multiply, you have to write the multiplication of 19, all of it. Right, all of it or something near around it. If you want to get the answer directly, you'll divide. So 19 will go outside and 570 will go inside. Okay, you can divide it. Now, of course, you have to use the multiplication in the other form as well. So it's not like, oh my god, I'll just divide this and I'll get the answer in a magic. You still have to write the multiplication, but it will be faster. And you'll get the exact answer very quickly. So when you do this, you will be getting, let's multiply it by 2 first. 2 here. What do you get? Sorry, 1 second. 9 times 2 is 18. You put the 8 here, you put the 1 here, 2 and 3. 38. Now 19 times 3. 9 times 3 is what? We get 7 here, 5 here. 9 times 3 is 27, sorry. 1 second. 2 here. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, 5. 57. There you go. So 3 goes up and 57 goes here. You subtract them. What do you get? And you bring the 0 down as well. 19 times 0 is 0. So you put the 0 here. You put a 0 here. So it's 30. Remember, you did it very quickly. So now, they multiply. So 3 plus 7. Let's write it again. 3 plus 7 plus 9 is equals to 19. You multiplied here by what? By 30. So then they multiplied every number by 30. Remember, I told you in the previous question that what you do to one part, you do it to the whole part, to the whole ratio. So remember, how much Sally was? 3, Kate was 7, and Anne was 9. So we know that they increased it by 30 and 30 and 30. So how much did Kate pay? Kate was the second. So 7 times 30 is 210. How much does Sally pay? Sally spent. They spent 3 times 30 is 90. So that is how you do this question. And you can just understand that how they're solving it or in one direction they're taking you to. Always share these videos with your friends as well so they can understand it more easily. And if there's anything you don't understand or you would like me to explain in more detail, you can always comment down below. In here, use 1 foot equals to 12 inches. Fill in each blank with a whole number. The number of inches in 4 feet is, so they're asking, if it's 1 foot here, right? So plural will be 4 feet. If I multiply this, the 1 foot multiplied by 4, so I need to make this 4. How will I make this 4? Multiplied by 4. The other side, 12, will also be multiplied by 4. Okay, whatever you do on this side, you also do it on the other side, so you can find out how much those inches is going to be. So it will be 48. The next one, the number of feet in 108 inches is, so what do we do here? Now, they're asking about number of feet here in 108 inches. The same thing you will do. 1 foot gives you 12 inches, right? Now, you want to figure out how did we go from 12 to 108? What can we do? Like we learned from the previous questions, we can divide it directly to get the answer. So 108. We can multiply this by 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Because remember, what is quicker for us? What is quick is that you figure out 9 times 2 is 18. 8 will be at the bottom. If I did 12 times 8, it will give me 16 at the bottom. So something that's also a way of trying to figure out the answer quickly. Right? Quickly, I mean do it properly, but as you know, the exam time will be less and you'll have a written part as well. 9 times 2 is 18. 8 here, 1 up, 9, 10. There you go. It's 9. So you figured out 12 times 9 is 108. So you also do it on this side. 9 times 1 is, there you go, 9. Okay, let's go on the other side. In the simplest ratio, now for example, in this one, the ratio of red triangles to blue triangles in a pattern is 10 to 15. In the simplest form, the ratio is, so now remember, where did they go from 15? Remember, keep in mind, red triangle is the first one. Keep this in mind because I know a lot of students get confused by this. The ratio of red triangles, it's 10. The ratio of red is 10. The blue triangle is 15. Okay, now in this one, 15, how did it go from that to 3? Nothing changed, the order didn't change, nothing changed. We divided here by 5. So we divided here by 5 as well. Remember, what we do to one part, we also do it to the other one. So this one, 15 divided by 5 is 3. The other one, 10 divided by 5 is 2. The next one, and remember, in here, they did not give us a sum or anything. They took this number and they gave us a hint in the next one. If there are 75 blue triangles, then the number of red triangles are, so 75 blue triangles, right? So let's, again, you can divide it, 15 divided by 75, or you can do the multiplication, whatever is easy for you. So 15 times what will it be? We get 15 times 5. What do we get? I mean, you can do multiplication here directly because it's a small number, right? So 5 up, so there you go, 5. So they multiplied means they multiplied here by 5 and they multiplied here by 5. So if there are 75 blue triangles, here it became 75. And then the other one will also become 50. So the red triangles will become 50. Remember, what are they asking for? Keep that in mind. If they want it in simplest form, you can also change it to that. Let's do this one now. The ratio of one number to another is 5 to 2 and their sum is 140. Remember, what are they hinting towards now? 140. And what is the ratio of one number to the other? 5 to 2. If the smaller number is 2x, okay, smaller number is 2x. How did they get 2x? What do they mean by 2x? 5, they multiplied by something. They multiplied by x, plus 2, they multiplied by x. So their sum was also, 5 plus 2 is what? 7, was also multiplied by x. Now what is this x? How do we figure this out? We saw that they gave us the sum of where they want us to go. So where do they want us to go? They want us to reach 140 in the sum. And they also told us sum. So how did they go from 7 to 140? They want here to multiply by 20. So what is that? The x is 20. So the missing factor, the x factor is 20. So you multiply, this x will be 20 as well. And this x will be 20 as well. Okay. So now here, if the small number is 2x and the larger number is 5x. And so the sum is going to be 7x. And 7x is equals to 140. You can also solve it like this. 7x is equals to 140. You can solve for x. You get x equals to 20. Okay. Now this gives x equals to 20. Now this is a way of understanding what goes behind the ratio questions. This is something very basic. They're telling you step by step. So if you want to learn it, this is the question where they should have put it in the very starting. So it becomes very easy for you to understand if you haven't till now. So therefore the smaller number is what? 2 times 20 was the smaller number because they told us what the smaller number is. Don't get confused. Always look at the question because they can trick you. Believe me, a lot of students have been tricked. Even when I was in school, because I'm a SABIS graduate, I understand that, you can be easily tricked. And our teachers always used to tell us, be careful about these things so you don't lose easy marks. So 40. The larger number is 5 times 20. And that is 100. Okay, there you go. Let's go to the next one. I hope this quiz becomes really easy and you get a really good mark. Because I understand it's starting as many marks as you can get. It's way easier for you to manage it later on. Okay, so really focus on the starting of the term. There are 150 animals in the shelter. 110 of them are dogs and the rest are cats. So 150 animals in the shelter. 110 of them are dogs. Now keep in mind, don't get confused. There are no other animals there. They're just dogs and cats. So then the next animal is going to be, the next number is going to be for cats. So this was for dogs. And the next one is 40 for cats. Okay, for cats. So 110 is dogs and 40 are cats. In the simplest form, what will we do? 11 and 40. Now remember, 110 is a prime number. Prime numbers are what I always tell this to my students because it makes it easy for them and they're trained now. So they just quickly tell me, miss, it's, you can just cross out the 0 and because 11 is a prime number, it can only be divided by itself and 4 cannot be divided by 11. So we know that it's already in the simplest form. So these things really help you out once you get to, practice them and understand them. As a decimal, so what do we do as a decimal? Don't get confused here. You just divide 11 over 4. Sorry, I'll choose another color. 11 divided by 4. You divide it, 4 divided by 11, and you start solving. So you know that the closest number is 2. You put 8 at the bottom. 8, 3 here, right? You put now, to add a 0 here, you need to remove a decimal point from here. So you'll put it up, whoop, you just put it up, and then you add a 0 at the bottom. Now what is it? What number will you put? 7. If you said 7, correct. 28 here. You're going to subtract it to get 2 here. Now another, you can put as many zeros now because you removed the decimal. So now you put 5 here. You know 4 times 5 is 20, so 2.75. Here the answer will be 2.75. Always remember to put the decimals properly because some students do make this mistake. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go. Converting 136 fluid ounces to cups using a ratio. Okay, sorry, using a conversion factor. So here, what do we know? That we have, select the correct output from each drop-down menu to make a statement true. The unit and the numerator of the conversion factor. Remember, what do they want you to convert it to? What is it being converted to? So that will be your, do they want it to cups? Because cups is the missing, missing value that they're looking for. And the unit and the denominator of the conversion factor will be fluid ounces. Okay, so they want. So why do we put it in the denominator? So you can cancel it out. Remember, you need to know these things. Or if you know these little things, it will make it very easy for you to do the exam, even if you get stuck. So because I know sometimes the questions, they're written in a way that they can be confusing. So if you know these things, it will make it easier. So here, the numbers in the numerator of the conversion factor is, so the number, now what did you put in the conversion factor? Your cup. So you'll put 1 here. And the number of denominator of the conversion factor will be 8. Okay. Now let's convert it. Now here also, what can you use? You can use cross multiplication. Okay, so it's 1 cup is equals to 8 fluid ounces. Then 136 fluid ounces, that's right, FO here, is equals to box. So 8 box is equals to 136. What do? You want to look for the box? You divide 8 divided by 136. You take 1 up here, 8, 5 down, just 1 second, 5 down, then 6 here, 8 times 7 is left 17, so 56 minus 0. So this is 17 cups. Okay, so you can do this very easily with cross multiplication. Okay, because why can we do it with cross multiplication very easily? Because there's only one conversion factor. If you don't want to do it this way, how will we do it the other way? So we have 136 fluid ounces, because I feel like if, times is equals to, what do you want to convert it to? I just want to focus on this right now, okay? And remember, whenever there's conversion factors like this, it's very easy because they have given you 1 cup and 8 fluid ounces. So you're dealing with 1 here. So it's going to be fluid ounces at the bottom, 8. And 1 will be, this is how you write the fraction of it, 1 cup. Okay, why did I write 1 cup at the above? It tells you right here, because what do we want? We want the cups. We want the final answer to be in cups. So 136 divided by 8. 8 divided by 136. Again, you'll do the division, you'll get 17. Okay, so I wanted to show you both ways so it becomes easier. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. We're nearly done. Okay, I hope it opens quickly. Okay, so a small town has a population of 2,000. The land area of this town is 80 acres. Fill in the blank with a whole number. So now let's understand what they're asking for. The population density number of people per acre of this town is box people per acre, right? So there are 80 acres. Let's write it, 80 acres is equals to 2,000 population. Let's write here pop. Here put the equal sign again. The population density number of people per acre of this town. People per. Remember, they want 1 acre. So they want to find out in 1 acre how many population is there. How much population is there? So 80 multiplied by the box equals to 2,000, the population, right? So we solve for that. 2,000 divided by 80. You can make it easy. You can cross out the 0 and start dividing. 8 divided by 200. Of course, you can always simplify it beforehand. Always can simplify it beforehand. But remember, when you have a box here, it will never be a fraction. It will completely simplify. So you can always go with a bigger number rather than going to a smaller number. I always tell these to my students so it becomes easier. So they solve it. They don't take a very long time for simplifying it and then solving it. So 200 divided by 8. Let's start. First we can do 2. 16 here. 4 here. 0 down, you know 8 times 5 is 40, 25. So what is that? Per acre. In 1 acre, you can see the word 1 acre. The box we found it out as 25 people per acre. Let's go to the next one. A hall is decorated with 180 white balloons and 150 red balloons. In the simplest form, the ratio of white balloons to red balloons is. So what is that? Remember, where did they go from red balloons? What happened? They changed it to 5. Notice these things. So now here, from 150, how did you get to 5? Either you can multiply here to find the bigger number, or you can divide here to find the smaller number. So whichever direction you want to go to. Sometimes multiplication is easy. So you multiply here by 5 times 30, and you also, so what will you do? You also here, 1 second, you multiplied here 5 times 30, you found that out. Now, you will divide here by 30. Okay, so this is how you do it. You find out what is the number. Or what you can do is box, what do they multiply by 30? That gives you 180. You can do it this way as well. And you know that sometimes multiplication is easy for people, so I give them both the options. So what can you do here? 6 times 3 is 180. So there you go. What is that? 6 here. The next one, to one decimal, place this ratio. So 6 over 5. So 5 will be here, 6 will go inside. Again, we'll put here 1, 5 here, 1, and then we'll put, remember, decimal, we want to add a 0, so we have to remove that decimal, put it up. 0, so 2. 1.2 is the answer. There you go. So 1.2. Let's go to the last question of today, and I hope this was very easy. Again, I'll recommend you to really do well in this quiz, in this periodic. Why do I do this? Because our teachers used to say focus on the starting of the term because it's comparatively very easy. And you can get easy marks. I mean, of course, it depends on the material because sometimes the material was not easy in the term 2 or term 3 starting of it. But always try to give your best because you have the most energy during that time. So 108 kilometers per hour is equals to box. Now, I mean like fraction. So here, what do? You put the hours, and we need to have another fraction because they're two. They want you to change kilometer to meters, and they want you to change hours to seconds. So kilometers will go at the bottom. Meters will go here, right? The conversion factor that you want. So meters is concerned with kilometers. So you'll put meters up, kilometers at the bottom. Why? Because I want to cancel this with this. Okay? So now what will it be? What is this? This number is going to be 1 here and 1000 here. Remember, whenever we're dealing with kilometers and meters, they're one fraction, they're very easy. What do I mean by that? When you're having 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meters. So 1, these numbers, they're very easy. So the next thing is that you'll have hours. Now you have to memorize these. Remember, memorize these. Don't get confused. Oh, I'm just supposed to automatically know these things. Sit down, take your time and memorize these. And then you put the hours up and the seconds at the bottom, right? Because they want the seconds to be at the bottom. So we will cross out the hours from above. So 1 hour is what? 3600, right? So 108,000. We just multiply it, okay? We multiply all of this. Divided by 3600. Cross out the both zeros. Then 1080 divided by 36. Now you can start multiplying it, okay? So let's see. Times 3. Let's try with that. 8 here. 1, 9, 10. Okay? So now it's 3. 108. Subtract it, you get 0. And what about this 0? Bring it down. 36 times 0 is 0. So you put the 0 here, 0 here. Subtract it and you get the answer. I hope if any questions, you want an extra class, you want any, questions that you're getting confused about, always reach out to me. There's always some tips and tricks I try to give as much as possible during the exam, during the quiz. But you can always ask me more if you have any other questions that you've made by yourself, because it's very important. There's some students that really like to put the extra effort and they make some questions different from the periodic quiz. So you put your effort in that and try to do your best to understand these concepts, because the stronger they build now, the easier it's going to be in the later on. So good luck for your exam. I hope this was easy. Bye-bye.